All right, welcome back, you guys. So what we're going to be doing is graphing exponential functions that have been translated. So what I did is I color-coded your guys' equation. So it's y equals a times b to the x minus h plus k. All right, so if you don't remember what any of those means, I would highly recommend you go look at your graphing exponentials packet because we defined that and we spent a lot of time in class, okay? So for each of these, you're going to graph the function, state the domain, range, and equation in the asymptote, clearly show the location of the special points, okay? So here, your base is 3, that's blue because that's my b. Vertical stretch is your a value, so vertical stretch of -2. And then a vertical translation, that's going to be your k, so that's 3 units up, which means if I didn't mention a horizontal, that's going to go ahead and be 0. So I'm just setting up your generic table. All right, remember, it always goes -1, 1 over b, 0, 1, and 1b, okay? So that's always the generic one. What I'm going to do is go ahead and set up some side work here. So it's -1, 0, 1, that's always 1, 1 over, and then my b in this case is 3, okay? So that's my starting stuff. Those are the start of the special points. Now remember, you guys go in order of H, A, K. Like I said, H is 0, so I'm not going to do anything. A, vertical stretch of -2. That means you multiply everything by -2, multiply by -2. And then vertical translation, 3 units up. That means I'm going to add 3 to all of these. Add 3, add 3, add 3. Okay. What I'm going to go ahead and do is simplify them down here. Your quiz will ask you to name the 3 coordinates that you're graphing. So this is going to be -1. That's going to be -2/3 plus 3. So that would be like, what would that be? -2/3 plus 3. That's going to be 7/3. So like about 2.6 is what you guys would get, or 7/3. That's going to be -2 plus 3. That's going to be 0, 1. That one didn't move. That's okay. And that's going to be 1, -6, 5, 4, 3. So -3. Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead and do before I graph those points is I'm going to first state the function and graph it. So y equals, my a value is -2. My b is 3, raised just to the x, and then plus my k, which is 3. All right, so that's all good. Again, before I do anything, I'm going to go ahead. My domain is always all real numbers. My range is always going to be y, and then my k value, which is 3. What I'm going to do is look at these points. They are all less than 3, so y is less than 3. And then the equation of the asymptote is always y equals 3. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and graph that. Remember, asymptotes, that's in the wrong spot. Asymptotes do not cross this line, okay? So make sure you guys are not getting lazy with your tail. I'm going to go ahead and graph in purple because why not? So -1, 2.6, so really close, but not quite on that line. 0, 1, and 1, -3. And like I said, do not get lazy with your tail. But there you go. That's 1 down and 1 to go. So this one should look familiar. This one you were kind of going backwards. I gave you information, and I wanted you guys to write the equation. Here, you're given the equation. I want you guys to do all this. So I'm going to go ahead and like color code things. So that's my B. My H is right there. My K is right there. And then my A is right there. Okay. So describe the translations. Oops, sorry. There we go. Horizontal translation. Remember, it's in the opposite of what you see. So I see a +3. So instead of going 3 to the right, I'm actually going to go 3 left. Okay. Vertical stretch is my A. I'm going to multiply by 4. And then your vertical translation is your K. This time I'm going to go down 4. Okay. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and set up my table. When you guys have the horizontal, leave yourself some room to work with the x's. I'm actually going to move that down a little bit. And remember, it's always 1 over b, 1 and b, and my b in this case is 2. So it's 1/2, 1 and 2. All right, so 3 to the left. Remember, horizontal is like your x. So if I'm going left, I'm going to subtract 3 from all of these values. Okay. Vertical stretch, you're always going to multiply your y's, and it will say that on your quiz, so don't worry about it. And then vertical translation, 4 down, that means I'm going to subtract 4, which means I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Hopefully you guys had that written down. -4, -4, and -4. What I'm going to do is simplify these 3 coordinates. So it's going to be -4. That would give me 2 minus 4, which is -2. That would be -3. That's 4 minus 4, that's 0. And that's -2. That's 8 minus 4, which is 4. Again, before I graph it, domain is always all real numbers. Your range has to do with your k. K in this case was -4. All of these numbers are greater than -4. And that means y equals -4. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and graph that line and not cross it with my 3 points. So -4, -2, -3, 0, and -2, 4. So it's gonna look, this one grows a little bit faster. It's gonna look like that, okay? And there you have it. There is graphing your exponential functions. Thanks for watching. Good luck on your quiz Monday.